Have you ever wondered why some people spend their whole lives working harder and harder, yet they never truly escape the struggle? And then there are others who seem to work less, but somehow money flows to them even while they sleep. This isn't luck, it isn't magic, it's mindset. And today, I want to tell you the story of Ryan, a young man whose life teaches us that if you change how you see money, you can change your entire future. Ryan was just 25 years old. He worked at a small grocery store in a little town. For 5 years he gave his everything, waking up early, showing up on time, helping customers with a smile. People respected him, his boss trusted him. But every night, when he counted his savings, his heart sank. No matter how many hours he worked, no matter how many shifts he covered, his money never grew enough. Have you ever felt that way? That no matter how hard you push yourself, you're still stuck in the same place? That was Ryan's reality. He often thought, is this it? Is this the rest of my life? Work, eat, sleep, repeat until I'm old and broken? One evening, Ryan couldn't hold it in anymore. He walked across the town to the house of Mr. Denier, the wealthiest man in the village. Now, Denier wasn't respected just because he was rich. People admired him because he was calm, wise, and always at peace. When Ryan arrived, Denier was sitting outside, sipping tea, looking at the sunset. Ryan bowed slightly and said, "Sir, I want to learn. Please tell me, how do I make my money work for me?" Denier looked at the young man and smiled. "You've asked a question that most people never ask," he said. "And that's why most people stay poor." He placed his cup down and began to explain. "First," he said, "save before you spend. Most people spend their money on desires, and then save whatever is left. But rich people, they save first, and then spend what remains. Don't wait until you're rich to save. You become rich because you save when you are not." Ryan nodded slowly, his mind opening. "Second," Denier continued, "don't chase fake success. A flashy phone, a shiny car, clothes to impress others. These don't make you rich. They only make you look rich, while secretly keeping you poor. Learn to control your desires. Learn to delay your pleasure. That's how wealth is built." Ryan lowered his eyes, remembering the expensive phone he had been dreaming about for months. "And third," Denier said firmly, pointing across the street, "build assets. Do you see that man's house? Years ago, he started a tiny Wi-Fi business. At first, it was nothing, just a few customers. But today, every single month, money flows into his pocket, whether he works or not. That is an asset. If you want freedom, don't just work for money. Create things that give you money, even while you're asleep." Ryan's heart started to beat faster. For the first time in his life, he understood. It wasn't about how many hours he worked. It wasn't about how tired he was at the end of the day. It was about strategy. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. He thought about everything Denier had said. Save first, control desires, build assets. 3 rules that could completely change his life. And the very next morning, Ryan started small. He stopped wasting money on little things that gave him no real value. He started saving, even if it was just a small amount. And then, he began looking for opportunities. At first, people laughed at him. They said, "Ryan, you're just a grocery worker. What do you know about building wealth?" But Ryan didn't argue. He stayed silent and kept working on his plan. He took his savings and invested in a small project. It wasn't much, but it was the beginning. And as time passed, Ryan changed. He was no longer just the hard-working boy at the store. He became the man who thought differently, the man who built, the man who grew. Years later, Ryan's life looked completely different. He wasn't chained to a grocery counter anymore. He had multiple income sources. He had freedom, and most importantly, he had peace. When people looked at him, they no longer saw the helper. They saw a man who had rewritten his story. And that brings us back to you. Ask yourself, are you working for money? Or is your money working for you? Because the moment you answer that question honestly, your life will start to change. Remember this: discipline beats talent. Strategy beats hard work. And patience creates freedom. Ryan's story is not just about him. It's about you. It's about anyone who dares to ask the right question and take the first step toward building their future. So if you're watching this right now, don't let this just be another story. Let it be a spark, a reason to start. Because your future begins with what you decide today. And if you believe your story deserves to be greater, then subscribe to Fuel for Winners, because here, every story, every lesson is fuel for your journey to success.